Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. This one here, we're going to be covering another one of my favorite decks in the history of the Pokemon TCG. This deck was, the first format it was used in was the 2005 Pokemon TCG format, which was, I believe, from Ruby Sapphire all the way up to, I think it was EX-Deoxys. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was, no, it might have been EX Emerald, right? Because I think it was the set right after that. Yeah, that would make sense because Medicham won Worlds that year, Medicham EX, right? No, that was Nidoqueen, but Medicham EX was really popular. Yeah, so it was from Ruby Sapphire, EX Ruby Sapphire to EX Emerald. And yeah, this deck was absolutely crazy popular. You could literally just, buy all of one set, right? And pretty much make like 60% of the deck just with the cards from that set. Like, that's how crazy it was. And it was actually good. The next format too, next year in 2006, right, which I believe was Hidden Legends on, and that went from Hidden Legends all the way to, I think it was Holon Phantoms. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I think Holon Adventure was in there, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was. And yeah, the deck that I'm talking about is, one of my personal favorites, but it is DragTrode. Dark Dragonite and Dark Electrode. And these two, together they worked together. They worked together as a whole unit, right? Electrode searches out the energy, and then Dragonite moves them around. So it's no wonder, this deck did so well, because it just was super consistent. You got a stage 1 that searches, and then a stage 2 that moves, but you also have a stage 1 that searches as well, right? You search out your evolutions. So search out energy, search out evolutions, move energy around. It's crazy. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. 3 Dark Dragonites, 3 Dark Dragonair, and then 3 Dratini. So this is the best Dratini here, the Dragon Song one, just because that sleep, that can buy you some valuable turns if you just can't really, get anything going. Everything else about it is okay. 50 HP, 1 retreat, resistance to grass and fighting. So the grass weakness or resistance is not too great, as there's not really a ton of grass being played. Fighting resistance is actually pretty decent, because obviously the Larvitar, the Tyranitar, right, Hariyama EX and Medicham EX, right. Those are being played. There's a lot, and Nidoqueen too. So there's lots of fighting Pokemon being played right now, and that's a good resistance to have. Weakness to colorless. So back then, dragon types, right, had a weakness to colorless, right? Rayquaza EX did, right? Both of them, right? And then obviously the Dragonite here. So, Dark Dragonair, once again, the same bottom part as Dratini, 70 HP this time, so a slight increase. And then it's Pokepower, right? A Pokemon Power, Evolutionary Light. So this here was modeled after the original Dark Dragonair, the one from Team Rocket. And this was the reprinting of it. You can also find this exact ability or Pokepower on the Dragon's Exalted Gabite, right? It does the same thing. It's worded differently. Lots of variations as well. The Meganium from Dragon Frontiers searches out 3, right? But it's on the stage 2, right? Lots of variations of it. So this is a great Pokepower. It's a great ability. If they have it in, or decide to reintroduce it into the format, it's absolutely awesome. Yeah, it searches out an evolution if it is your active Pokemon, right? So this is great if you're able to switch into it, right? And then its attack there for Water and Lightning Dragon Rage does 30. You don't even use that. Dark Dragonite, a big increase in HP, 120 now. Retreat cost went up by 1. Makes sense because he's more bulky, right? It's Pokemon Power and Dark Trance. You can move a Dark Energy to one of your Pokemon from another one of your Pokemon, right? That's awesome, right? You can help avoid KOs. You can help protect your special darkness energy. They didn't have basic dark back then. That was introduced in Diamond and Pearl. The first dark energy, right, which is special dark, was introduced in Neo Genesis, right, along with special metal. So yeah, that's obviously what you want to do. Double wing attack, and once again, we don't have the energy for it. That's a water and lightning. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, we do have the energy for it, so we can use all the other attacks on all the water and lightning attacks on Dratini, Dragonair, and Dark Dragonite, because we do play Rainbow Energy. Sorry about that. Claw Swipe there, the second attack. 3 colors does 50. Pretty cool. Next, we have Dark Electrode. We got 3, and then 3 Voltorb. Voltorb is awesome, right? The best one, right? Once again, standard everything on it. It's Pokebody. Floating electrons. As long as it has any energy attached to it, its retreat cost is 0, right? So I would just send them active and then move an energy to it for Dark Dragonite. And then just retreat it, right? That's crazy good. Like, if I didn't have it in hand already, right? Thundershock, that's alright. 20 damage, possible paralysis. It's mainly there to go into Dark Electrode, 70 HP. And this is dual type. It's lightning and dark, right? This is an awesome mechanic introduced in Team Rocket Returns there, the dual typing, right? It's more of a dark theme set. So they incorporated dark on a lot of Pokemon, right? And then Energy Bomb there for 30 for a lightning. You can move all energy cards attached to Dark Electrode to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So this is great at hitting for damage. You can load up a bunch of special dark on it, and then I'm just going to move it. I'm going to avoid getting KO'd. I'm just going to spread them across the board, and then Dark Dragonite will just move them next turn. That's the idea behind that, and that's so powerful. Right? And then obviously it's Pokepower Darkness Navigation. You can search your deck for a dark or dark metal energy card and attach it to Dark Electrode. And that's okay because you can just move it around after as well. Right? So, whatever. Also, just don't mind the train in the background. I do live in the country, so... Well, that's the theme behind that. Awesome card. Now, when you need something big knocked out, right? We got something here that we're going to be bringing to the table. We're actually going to be bringing 3 of them to the table. And Rockets Sneasel EX. And we got Rockets Scyther for those grass weak Pokemon. Right? So Rockets Sneasel, 90 HP, 1 retreat, resistance to psychic, weakness to fighting. So not really too great of a weakness to have. You want to be careful with that against fighting decks. Drag off for 10 before doing damage. You may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. And then if you do, this attack does 10 damage to the new defending Pokemon. Your opponent chooses the defending Pokemon to switch. So that's assuming that they're having like 2 active Pokemon, like in like a double battle or something, right? And then Dark Ring, the beefy attack. This attack does 30 damage plus 10 more damage for each of your dark Pokemon in play. So if you have this active and 5 dark type on the bench, that's a total of 6. So you're hitting 90 damage. And if you're able to add those dark energies, those special dark, right, you can hit that 130 mark really easily, right? A lot of the Pokemon in this format have 120 HP or less. Tyranitar, Dragonite, Nidoqueen, and most of the EXs, are at 110, 100 HP, right? This is crazy good. Scyther there, the 80 HP. As long as Scyther has any grass energy attached to it, it is considered a grass and dark type. It's got a hit and run attack balance for 10, which is awesome. And then slashing strike, it does 40 damage, and then you just can't use this attack. Right? So, pretty cool. Next, we have the setup card of the deck, right? And yes, we do play setup cards, right? This guy's still in the format, Dunsparce. 50 HP, 1 retreat, no resistance, weakness to fighting. Strike and run. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Shuffle your deck after it, and then you may switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. So that's a great card to go into a Dark Dragonair the next turn, right, to get that evolution search. And then sudden flash there for 10 damage. Flip a coin of heads. Your opponent's Pokemon is paralyzed. Pretty cool, right? This card here can also be swapped for Lanette's Net Search. A lot of people I see are playing that and just deciding to go the more aggro route rather than the setup route. I personally like the setup a lot more. Trainer cards. 3 Copycat. This card's been in the format for a long time. It currently is right now. I'm not going to explain what it is. Steven's Advice. Right? If you have more than 7... if you have 7 or more cards in your hand, including this one, you can't play this card. So this is the Power Keepers one. The original... the one from Hidden Legends is a little bit worded a little bit different. It says, if you have more than 7 cards in your hand, you can't play this card. Right? And then it says, draw a number of cards equal to the number of your opponent's Pokemon in play. So if they have 6 active in a full bench, right, it's a draw 6, and that's really good. I mentioned it earlier, Lanette's Net Search. I do play 2 just because I want to have that more consistent setup, right? And these are all the supporters, by the way. Rockets Admin, I do play 1, the original one. Just some extra shuffle draw, right? Doesn't hurt to have more. You can maybe swap out a Copycat or 2. And then play more admin. Scott. Search your deck for up to 3 in any combination of supporters and stadium cards. Pretty cool. And speaking of stadium cards, the best one in the game, Desert Ruins. There's so many EX heavy decks, right, that have more than 100 HP. Right? There's, obviously Blaziken, There's Zapdos right now. There's Medicham. There's Hariyama, right? You'll see the occasional Blastoise EX deck, right? Lots have more than 100 HP, and this is just great to just get some extra chip damage on them, right? So if you're able to, Darkness Navigation, move the energy to a Rockets Sneasel, you could potentially set up for some massive 150 HP Pokemon KOs. That's just that crazy. That's the supporters in the stadiums. Next, we're going to go into the trainers, right? The item cards, as they're called now. Okay. 3 Rockets Pokeball, right? Pretty much an evolution incense for dark Pokemon. Not like the dark type, but the Pokemon with dark in its name. 2 Swoop Teleporter, right? Another really good card if we have a Dunsparce active with that energy on it. We can just switch it out with a basic in our discard pile, right? That's pretty cool. You can't use EXs with it though, so that's unfortunate. A Pokémon Retriever, pretty much super odd, right? 3 basic or evolution to your deck, or you can put any one Pokemon card to your hand, right? So I guess not really super odd because there's no energy. And then lastly, a POW hand extension, right? It's great for a come from behind card. Move 1 energy attached to the defending Pokemon to another one of your opponent's Pokemon, or switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the defending Pokemon. So it's pretty much a gust of wind, a boss's orders, a Lysander, right? Great card to have. And that is the trainers, everybody. So now we are going to get into the energy, right? And the energy is probably my favorite part of the deck just because it's so consistent and easy. 4 dark, provides dark and an additional 10 damage. And it's searchable with Dark Electrode. Speaking of searchable, Dark Metal, right? Provides both dark and metal, which is really good. There is an actual Pokemon in the Team Rocket Return set that was both dark and metal, and that was Dark Steelix. So that Pokemon could use this card, and it did a lot. 4 R Energy, Rocket Energy. It provides 2 dark, and it does an additional 10 damage. However, it gets discarded at the end of your turn. So another crazy good card. And then lastly, 4 Rainbow Energy, right? This can use our Dratini, our Dragonair, and our Dragonite's attacks there, as well as Dark Electrode. And yeah, once again, we got that train, so hopefully you can just try to ignore it. But yeah, there we go, everybody. That is the deck. That is DragTrode. This is the 2005 version. This is my own personal list. I really like it. I haven't played this format in a long time. It's a lot of fun. It's not as popular as the 2006 formats, right? But yeah, it's still really good. Big changes with this in 2006 is obviously Dunsparce rotates. So by having Dunsparce rotate, yeah, you'll have to use the Hold-On engine, right? So with Hold-On Transceiver, Hold-On Mentor, etc., right? Which is, just consistency. This is the golden age of the Pokemon TCG, where a lot of the decks that were being played were set up, right? You just try to set your board up, right? Set up the Pokemon that you need on the bench, and then have your attackers, right? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Matchups wise, I think it's got good overall matchups against practically everything. The one thing that I'd probably say that's difficult is power lock, right? If you can't use your Pokemon powers, then you're gonna have a tough time. So that means Battle Frontier is gonna be kind of a pain. So you want to try and get rid of that stadium, right? Make sure that your opponent plays that stadium before you play yours. That way you can win the stadium war, right? And even though Desert Ruins is not, may not be useful in a matchup, it can still be a useful card to bump your opponent's stadium. So that's another really important thing about it. And yeah, there you go, everybody. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and a comment. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe as well. We are also going to be doing our giveaway again at 250 subscribers. So, the faster, we get there, the faster you have the opportunity to hit that. So, and this is Deck Profile Friday. Don't forget to check out Opening Sunday. So there will be an opening this Sunday. And yeah, just stay tuned for future videos. So, all right, there you go, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.